All right. Okay, well, this is, I guess, episode 4 um, of this parallel between Earthships and cancer. And there will be, I think I probably will be repeating myself here and there. And I don't mind that because it repeatedly gets pointed out to me as I keep observing this. I'm just saying it needs to be said over and over again for people to absorb this situation, because it's blowing my mind every day. Now, again, I want to emphasize that I am no expert on cancer. I am talking from 6 months of study, and that's something. But when I compare that to 50 years of study in the physics of thermal mass and solar gain, and I start to see these parallels, it bears repeating over and over and seeing and looking at it in different ways. Now there's an example I use in the academy, just to point out the physics of the situation. That is, back when they had, most cars are automatic these days, but there's still a few that are stick shift. But back in the old days, all the cars were automatic, and you had this old car and the battery was dead, and everybody my age and even a lot younger has push started a car. Probably a lot of younger people haven't done that. But you push start a car. What you do is you get a few people to push it, and somebody sits behind the wheel with the clutch in, and you push it and you get it going fast enough, and you pop the clutch. You got it in second gear or something, and it starts, when the battery's dead. It's a thing that I've done a lot, and I'm saying maybe some younger people haven't done it at all. But here's the thing, and I've done it enough to make this analogy, that if that car, I've done it, I've been in a situation where the car is just barely facing a slight uphill. And you really don't do this in reverse, so you have to push it uphill. And that takes 6 or 8 people and a person behind the wheel. It's just the slightest uphill takes a lot of people. Now, I've also done it on flat level. Hell, 2 people can do it. Both of them pushing the car, but one with the steering side door open. And when you get it going fast enough, these old cars were big enough you could just jump in and put the clutch in and put it in gear and pop the clutch. So it takes like 6 or 8 people on a slight incline. It takes just a couple of people on a flat. Now, if you just got the slightest downhill, you can do it by yourself, and I have. You start pushing the car, you're running along beside it with the door open, and it's in neutral, and you get it going, you get in, you put the clutch in, put it in second, pop the clutch, and boom, you're starting your car. Now, the point is, the energy of 8 people it takes on the slight incline. On the incline in the way in your favor, takes 1 person. The point is, you're working against gravity or with gravity, and with the physics of gravity working with you, it takes 1/8 of the energy to achieve this objective. And that's the way thermal mass is with Earthships. It's like the thermal mass and the solar gain together do so much toward keeping you comfortable that even in the worst conditions, with no sun or very little sun, you still can heat a building with very little energy. And like in say Maine or something, where they get very little sun, if you got still a lot of thermal mass and you have a wood stove or a gas stove, that energy gets stored in the mass and it doesn't just go away. So you can get by with much less fuel if you have no sun. But if you have sun and thermal mass, then you can, here in New Mexico, you can make it so you don't need any energy. So what I'm saying is, by aligning with and understanding the physics of thermal mass and solar gain, you make a home that needs little or no energy. Now, the catch there is that a lot of people think of home as their rambling ranch house, dream home thing, and they don't want to be told what to do by thermal mass, by sun, solar gain, and thermal mass. They want what they want. Well, therein lies the problem. We have a way of thinking of home. Now, I don't think that way anymore after 50 years. I think of home as whatever it has to be to keep people warm, and many people can accept that. But a lot of people, they want a northern view, or they want this, or they want that. I'm talking about, it's better than a park bench. It's better than paying rent. It's better than nuclear power plants and coal-fired power plants. It's better than infrastructure. Housing must be defined by what it takes to make it function without destruction of the earth and people constantly paying. We're talking physics. We're talking an alignment with physics, and first of all, an understanding of physics, and then an alignment with physics. Well, switch to cancer. In the last 6 months, I'm starting to see that, just like a nuclear power plant is a radical production, dangerous production of energy that we need. And we need to produce twice as much of it to run through the lines and have line resistance, waste half of it, so that we can heat these lame-ass buildings that we have on this planet. That we can heat and cool them by just pumping large amounts of radical, powerful energy into them. That's what they do with cancer today. They do radical treatment that, just like the nuclear power plant kills the planet, it really does. The one in Japan is doing that as we speak, and so are coal-fired power plants, and so is the infrastructure, and on and on and on. And we're paying for it with money and our planet. We're ruining our planet. All right, the same chemotherapy and cutting things out and radiation treatments kill the body, ruin the immune system. But they take the cancer, just like the nuclear power plant. Yeah, hell yes, it heats your building, but you don't have an earth left to put the fucking building on. So, yes, chemo kills cancer, but you don't have a body left to have cancer in anyway. It ruins you. This is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing, before I found out about the physics and the biology of whole foods and plant-based diet, I was thinking, shit, I don't want to do this. And then, of course, the thing that put me over the line was, after I do all of the chemo and radiation and cut everything out and start wearing a diaper, thrilling, then I have to take these pills that cost $11,000 a bottle, and you take a bottle a month. I told them at the cancer center, I choose death. So I'm just, but then, okay, so I chose death. I was ready. And still am, because I may be full of shit. Definitely I could be full of shit, but I'm hot on the trail of this, and right now it looks good. So I stumble onto these books that now I call Bibles. They're more important than any goddamn Bible I have ever seen. Don't strike me dead, God. But the thing is, these books, I keep reading chapters over and over again that talk about the diet and why, and the science of it, and the physics of it, and the chemistry of it. The science, physics, biology of plants is just like they make it, when you eat that way, they make it so the very slightest bit of deterrent on the cancer is enough. Just like when the car is sloping downhill just a little bit, the very slightest bit of energy will make you be able to push it. So let's just give it every benefit of the doubt and not make it more than it is. Whole food plants, not processed, but real plants, set your body up. And I'm feeling it. I'm doing it now for several weeks, and it's like, holy shit, I can't believe how good I feel. And I've got cancer, stage 4, whatever, life-threatening cancer. Progressed, metastasized, or whatever they call it. And so, but still I feel good. So maybe the axe is going to fall and I'm going to be full of shit, and I'm going to be doing an episode here in 2 or 3 weeks that says, okay, I'm dying, I was full of shit. But whatever. I'm saying what I think now. What I think now is that the diet of plants, whole food plants, all kinds of them, fruits and vegetables, sets the biology and the chemistry up in your body so that it takes very little energy to make cancer unhappy. Just like the thermal mass and the sun do so much in a space so that just very little energy is needed to keep that space comfortable. And we have ways of getting that from the sun mostly, but still, if you're using a gas heater in Maine, you're going to use 80% less because of the thermal mass and what good little solar gain you can get from the south with glazing. And there are other tricks. We're learning the tricks after 50 years to make it work anywhere. I'm learning the tricks with the cancer now. I don't know. It seems like it may work. So what I'm saying is the whole food plant-based diet sets your body in motion to keep the cancer from progressing, at least. I would be fine if my cancer doesn't progress because I'll live with it. I'm living with it right now, and I see, what the hell? Everything is okay. What I've got in terms of cancer right now, no matter how bad they say it is, I feel really good. And I'm a margarita man. I'm a steak man. I mean, I go into restaurants here in Taos, and they meet me at the door with a margarita, a chocolate mousse, and a steak. That's the way I've been for the last few decades. I'm a cheese man. I mean, I eat cheese on cheese on cheese, and then a little bit of salad underneath. I mean, yeah, but I'm now getting all creative and having fun with making whole food plant-based diet taste good, and it's working. But the thing is, I can grow it in my Earthship. I can grow all of this stuff in my Earthship, and that just makes it better. And why wouldn't I not be screaming about this? So the point is that plants aren't going to cure you necessarily, although let's just say they aren't. They're just going to cause your body to not allow the progression of cancer. Now, if you don't have cancer and you go whole food plant-based, then they're not going to allow it to happen. But if you've already got it, I think what I am seeing is that they're not going to allow it to progress. And then, so you're giving your body the biology and the chemistry through whole food plants. And I keep saying whole food because they're not processed plants, they're plants. Can of tomato soup is not whole food. Tomatoes blended in a blender are whole food. So, and I like Campbell's tomato soup, but I like everything bad. But so your whole food plants set you up for cancer not to spread, not to progress, they call it. Then the next thing the thing you do with that, I call it the 1-2 punch, I've already said it, is then you stop giving the things to your body that make cancer happy. And that is no dairy, casein in dairy. No meat, no bird, no fish, no nothing from animals, which kind of is starting to look pretty good because now animals can share this earth with us. We're not raising them to kill. I think someday we're going to look at eating animals. Mark my words, somebody that writes down words and looks at things 50 years from now or 100 years from now, if we last that long, and I'm hoping that we can through this kind of thinking. The killing of animals for food is in the future going to be looked at very much like slavery is looked at today. We used to make a certain color of person a slave. How ridiculous is that? Well, 100 years from now, we're going to be saying, damn, we used to eat animals, and now we share the earth with them. Holy shit. I mean, we're not going to change this overnight. I mean, I have been working on the thermal mass solar gain concept of science and physics for 50 years. And we're just now making a dent. We are making a dent. That I can make housing. I can make housing. I know. I'm not saying I know with cancer. I'm just saying, hey, here's a parallel. I'm saying I know with thermal mass and solar gain that I can make housing anywhere on the planet that will keep people comfortable without energy. Period. I can do that. It's available now. Yes, it's not going to keep your 3-story living room, cathedral living room situation for massive parties comfortable. No, it's not that. It's going to keep you with a series of spaces that are not huge, because the larger the space, the more the more different the ratio from mass to air volume is. You got to have it. It's best if it's damn near equal. The space you're trying to temper with thermal mass and solar gain is about equal to the thick 6-foot mass wall surrounding it. That will keep you comfortable, but it will eliminate the need for nuclear power plants, coal-fired power plants, and infrastructure, wires. It will eliminate that. People can't fathom that right now, but I can. I can see it. I can see all over this planet no energy required to keep people comfortable. It is science. It is real. I can do it, and I am doing it. We're getting up to a damn near 100 degrees here in Taos, New Mexico, and 110 in southern New Mexico. We got an Encounter Earthship. There was just a video out about it. Look it up. I think it's Earthship Encounter. I don't know what the title of it is, but actually, Deborah, you could tell me. But the video is out there on the Encounter. But I, after 50 years, am blown away again. No wonder I keep repeating myself. Because the latest one we just built, you go in there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun is just, you practically have heat stroke after you get out of your car and go to the building. I mean, some people almost do. You walk in the building and it's like walking in a refrigerator. I mean, you go in the greenhouse and it's reasonable. You go in the house and it's like, holy shit. And I do that. I still say, holy shit, it is cool in here. And of course, the inverse of that is true in the winter. It's warm. Due to the thermal mass, due to the science and the physics of thermal mass and solar gain. Insulated thermal mass, building housing like a thermos bottle. Well, that is a fact of science. And what I'm saying, and what I'm seeing and saying, is that what you put in your body is a fact of physics and chemistry and science. And it sets your body up for not allowing cancer to prevail. And just like thermal mass and solar gain allow the building not to allow the outside temperature to prevail. It simply is a scientific way of you controlling the situation. So I am fanatical. I read labels. I mean, I used to poo-poo vegans and vegetarians and hummus. I used to call hummus, I had some kind of name for it. Hummus? Yeah, what are you going to do with that crap? Give me some bacon. And so I was the worst, and it doesn't take, I'll tell you, all it takes to light a fire under your ass is a doctor from a leading cancer institute in the world, one of them, to say, you got progressed, advanced prostate cancer, and it is life-threatening. that will light a fire under your ass. It actually made me look at and consider all the things, the nuclear power plant approach to radically killing cancer, taking your body with it. So we're radically heating our buildings, but we're taking our planet with it. This is insane. This is the way we do things. And the parallel, it is just as parallel as two lines on a piece of paper, what I am seeing. The new Earthship video is by Kirsten Dirksen. It's about the encounter. And that's the one that just blew my mind after 50 years all over again. Blew my mind about what we're doing, and shows me again and again and again that it works, and makes me want to scream from the top of the highest mountain, please, look at this. Be comfortable. Don't destroy our planet. But I've got to hold, I'm aware that standing on a soapbox and preaching to people isn't going to do jack shit. What I've got to do is show it to them. I've got to take people from 110 degree temperature outside, get them out of their car, walk them into a building and say, you can be this comfortable, and it's also beautiful, and it won't cost you anything. They're not going to care whether it costs the planet or not, most people. Very few people care about anything. They just, they need to make a living. You can't expect everybody to be environmentalists or, in other words, I'm not condemning people because of what they're doing. I'm saying they've just been taught that way. You're not going to change it overnight. And like I say, nobody would have changed me from a bacon eating, margarita drinking fool to a fanatic on whole foods, plant-based diet, unless they told me, our science is showing you're on your way to the grave, dude. Soon. And so I'm like, okay, do I get my affairs in order and start digging a hole? I like to dig. Or what do I do? And so I, looked around and at options on the situation. Like there's I'm not going to mention names of anything, but there's a leading cancer institute. I call it the Cancer Factory. I've been there, and they're the ones that told me, you got advanced prostate cancer, life-threatening. You best do what we say. And it ends up with the $11,000 bottle pills, and I chose death. Well, a recent high-profile, well-known person, spouse, died of cancer. I'm not going to say what kind. I'm not going to give names. Died of cancer. And they wanted to thank this institute for the service and help. But the woman died. Oh, I wasn't even going to say it was a woman. But the person died. Not very old. But yeah, maybe they really made her comfortable while it happened and did some good service and meant well. Not condemning any people or anything. But our method of doing it doesn't save us. It just makes us maybe be comfortable while we wait for the axe to fall. And maybe that's all I'm doing. Maybe I'm just making myself comfortable while I'm waiting for the axe to fall. But I'm like, every day I wake up and I go, damn, I'm 75. I got advanced life-threatening prostate cancer. And I feel great, and I can't wait to slam some stuff in the juicer and try a new experiment and drink what I call the elixir of life. All these beets and celery and carrots and ginger and kale and parsley and these little tangerine things and lemon and turmeric. I put all this stuff in there, and apples. And my first Earthship that I built, I live in it, is in an apple orchard. So all of a sudden, apples. Yeah, I eat 2 or 3 apples a year. Don't have room for it. I eat too much steak. Now I've got 50,000 apples staring me in the face now. I will be eating them, and pears, and apricots, and the apricot seeds. They're good for they have an effect on cancer. So what I'm saying is, yes, I am fanatically eating nothing but this kind of stuff to give my body that little bit of slope, so it won't take much energy to make the cancer very unhappy. I'm making my body strong enough to, I think, make it so it can't advance. Now I want to make it unhappy so it'll go away. Am I dreaming? I'll let you know. I'll be talking to people in the cyberspace. I don't care if anybody's listening. I'll be talking to myself every couple of weeks, saying what is going on. And because this is worth documenting. Like I say, if I take a turn for the worse, and over the next 6 months, I talk to people as I fucking croak into the grave, or I'm going to be burned. But if I do that, at least you're going to learn something I'm going to learn something. Maybe I didn't get to it in time. Maybe I was zealous about how serious this is, or how possible it is. But what I'm seeing is, hell, nobody gave an earthly shit about thermal mass. Too subtle, forget it, dude. Be an architect, get an HVAC system, get with the program. I just stuck to it on instinct or something. And now I know that if I could instantly put 8 billion people in homes that use this concept, the earth would be good for another 10,000 years just on that alone. Then you take the cars out of the equation and industry out of the equation. Half the industry's about, making energy and making food that kills us and so on. So, this is an effect. This is a serious thing. The Earthship concept itself, but then you partner that with the potential of applying that thinking to not just cancer, but disease in general. Heart disease, diabetes, cancer. They call these things diseases of affluence. And then they have diseases of poverty. The diseases of affluence are obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. They all come from, it's so easy for us to eat a burger from McDonald's or whatever, and they're good. And I used to be proud because I've had a McDonald's in every country in the world. I had a McDonald's in Nice. I had a McDonald's in Moscow. I had a McDonald's in China. And they brought it to me because they thought I'd like it, and I did. And then I drew an Earthship on the napkin that I was going for my next design. But nobody thinks of the millions of cows locked up in corrals, shitting all over the place, ruining the planet, having to be fed by just what it does to the planet is obscene. Not to mention what it does to animals. And like I say, I think, 100 years from now, we're going to be going, oh my God, those ignorant people, they used to eat animals. And animals are our friends. They're here on this planet with us. And so I'm just saying that I am seeing this. And every 2 weeks, I see it, the same thing again, but even a little more so. I see more. I see other ways to talk about it. But I'm seeing people are dying with less serious cancer than I've got. Lots of them are dying with less serious cancer than I've got. And because they took the nuclear power plant approach, is my opinion, my thought. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying they seem to have taken the nuclear power plant approach, and maybe it bought them a year or two of misery. See, the thing is, if I do go out this way, I'm having a hell of a good time while I'm doing it because, I have to say, I can no longer leap tall buildings with a single bound like I could do when I was 40 or 50. I'm 75, for Christ's sake. I'm old. So age has got something to do with it. But since I started eating this way, hell, I feel as good as I felt in the late 50s, when I was in my late 50s, and I'm supposed to be dying of cancer. So maybe the axe is going to fall. Maybe I'm absolutely full of shit, and pain is going to happen, and whatever. Okay, but I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it. I am trying it. I'm trying it because It's not I have blind hope. It's that it's like the same thing I used to say about the Earthships and the Earthship concept. And interviewers would ask me, well, what kept you going against all this controversy? You know, people telling you, taking your license and telling you're an idiot and condemning you. And I'd say, well, I've been doing it for a few decades now, and it's like I'm in a gold mine, and I have seen this vein of gold. And it keeps getting a little bit bigger and bigger. And yeah, I have to hack through granite to get to it. And a lot of people don't want to go through that much work. But I have seen this vein of gold, and I can't stop thinking about it. That's what kept me going into the Earthship situation. And now I'm seeing the parallel. I am seeing a vein of gold. I'm just seeing that people say, well, if that was a cure for cancer, people would have done it. You know, you're just an idiot here. Again, an idiot. And I'm not saying this is a cure for cancer. And I'm not saying that thermal mass is a cure for energy. I'm saying that thermal mass and solar gain, I found to be a way. And I keep improving it, and I'm still improving it to this day. They are a way to keep people comfortable all over this planet without energy. I have found that. I got the vein of gold into the mother lode on that. It's there. It is unarguable now. I am not bullshitting there, and I'm not afraid to say this is the truth. It's not my opinion. It is fact. On the cancer side of it, I'm going to say it's opinion, but it's so parallel to this fact that I can't let go. And so that's why I am willing to risk everything for going in this direction. And I feel like it is worth reporting about it on its way and seeing if I'm going to lose at this, how and when. And I'm going to talk about it. If I'm going to win at it, then I'll probably be contaminating the internet for the next 20 years, you know, with the same line of bullshit. So anyway, that's where we're at today. I think that was episode 4. Over and out.